Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Avonlea Knits podcast. My name is Martha and I'm here to talk about all things knitting and crafting. I just got ready for church, so I'm trying to do this quickly. It's supposed to be really hot again today, so I wanted to take advantage of the natural morning light and then close these curtains so that it can stay cool in here because I'll be gone for the morning. So I released the Wrapped in Love shawl 2 weeks ago today, which was July 27th, and the response was overwhelming. I couldn't believe it. So I had gone to church, I podcasted, gone to church, taken the shawl with me. I photographed it and in church afterwards. I waited till everybody left. And then came home and decided right then and there to get the pattern ready. And then I looked back on my texts and I wanted to see like when exactly was it, because I remembered it was kind of the end of the month that the pattern idea had come to me back in May. So I looked through my text messages, and thank God for iPhones, because all of my text messages from my old phone are on my new phone. So I searched up, and I love the search function. I was able to search up like a little part of a phrase, and it brought up some messages, and I found the one of them from that particular day, and it was May 27th that the pattern idea came through. So I thought, how fitting that exactly 2 months to the day I released the pattern. So I got the pattern already, put it on Ravelry, did a post on Instagram, and then I walked away. And I went and ran an errand, came home, decided to clean the sap off of my car, which then my brother was cleaning his car, so we did a whole car clean together. And then later on, I checked Ravelry and I had so many messages in my Ravelry inbox, and I went to my pattern sales and it was like 30, 40, 50 downloads. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe this. And I then kept checking throughout the rest of the day because I posted it early afternoon. And then I went to bed and I'm like, I think I'm gonna hit 100 tonight. And so I just happened that I wasn't sleeping great because it was super hot. I got up at 11:58 and I log into Ravelry and I go check my pattern sales. It's 11:59 and there are 101 downloads. I couldn't believe that in the span of about 10 hours, it had over 100 downloads. It now, then a few days later on the Friday, so almost a full week later, it had 250 downloads. I can't believe that. It's my most successful pattern yet. Lots of nice comments. I printed them off. People said, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, it's beautiful. Beautiful pattern and more than the thought, love and warmth put into it and making it so meaningful. Thank you for your kindness and sharing your pattern. It is a labor of love. Love the shawl and the pattern. Thanks for reaching out with love to someone having hills and not valleys in their lives. I really love that. And yeah, just lots of beautiful thank you. Thanks for sharing your pattern. Thank you for this sweet testament of love and friendship. So I love that. So I think at this point it's got over 265 downloads. So that's amazing. I can't believe it. So you can find it for free on Ravelry, Lovecrafts, and my website. So now let's get into some finished objects. I finished the gratitude blanket. It's just a little lap blanket, and I used the same stitch pattern that I did for my gratitude shawl, which is just chunks of garter stitch and then some eyelet rows. And I did the same thing with this blanket that I did with my gratitude shawl, which was, I just knit until I didn't have any more yarn. Now, I had 3 balls of this Lion Brand recycled Thick and Quick, but I got to the end of this garter section and I thought, I don't know how much I have left, so let me just keep going. And I got 3 eyelet rows done and then garter, and then I bound off. I didn't want to go into the 3rd ball because it's the perfect size the way it is. So this is done. I don't know when the pattern will be coming out. I have to take some more photographs of it, but it's just a cute, quick, fun pattern. And in the pattern, I'm gonna write, like, you can use whatever yarn you want. If you wanna use a worsted or a DK or a bulky, you will just have to adjust your needle size and your yardage, obviously, but you could knit it however big you want, like easily adaptable pattern. So yeah, so I love it. Turned out great. The day I blocked it and then I had to lay it out on the clothesline to dry. I have a clothesline with like 4 rows of like cord or wire. So I laid it out over top of that in the sun because it's so thick. So I knew it would take ages inside. So I did that and I finally finished this scarf. I'm just finding the right side of this. This is the winter installment of my seasonal collection. And it turned out really great. I was able to easily memorize the pattern. I do think now it's a bit wide for a scarf, but I feel like wider scarves are kind of in, right? Like big, chunky, wider scarves are kind of in. It took 3 skeins of Cascade 220 worsted weight, but just under 3 skeins because I made a matching headband. Back when I first started this, I made a matching headband. Then I did the scarf. So I like finished, and then when I started the scarf, I started with 1 full ball, and then I had another full ball and then a partial ball that I had taken some out of for the headband. So I must have used the partial ball second because I joined a second ball and I was knitting away and it was like, all of a sudden it was done. And I'm like, wow, okay. And then the 3rd ball was ages. But I ended up, I don't know what clicked this time, but I was able to easily memorize the pattern. And you're gonna have to wait till December for the first day of winter for that. So that's all I'm gonna say about this now, but it's done. And past me wrote the pattern already. So I just had to write, sorry, somebody is doing I have a big picture window right here, so I keep looking out here, but some guy is doing a slow drive-by. You're gonna have to wait till December for this pattern, but it will be part of my seasonal collection. And the headband pattern will come with it. So I'm so glad that that's finished now because it's been on the couch for a long time. And it just became one of those things that I did not want to knit anymore. But I persevered, and I really just put these last like week and a half, I just put a timer on every day for an hour. And I was like, I'm just gonna work on this for an hour. And I got like 3 or 4 repeats done. Then I put it away. And the only day I really pushed through was Friday. I just put on an audiobook and I knit for like several hours on it and finally finished. So the next thing is I've had to cast on for my fall installment of the collection. And I found this in my stash. I think I showed it last time. This is Shellrich Yarns Sunset Beaches. It's a fingering weight. And I had originally had it with a nice blue. I also showed the blue last time. I gave up the blue to my mom. She wants to knit my Looking for Loons shawlette for my cousin that's coming over from England. So I gave her that. It was fine. But this one, and I had originally had those two for a color work project, and then I decided this would be perfect for my fall installment of my seasonal collection. So I decided to scrap the color work project. This totally screams like Muskoka fall to me. So I am holding it double. I have a cowl pattern. I'm holding it double. Yesterday I cast on and I did the ribbing. The problem is the needle size that I need to go up to next is on something else. So I'm going to, thank God for interchangeables, because I can just pop these off and put the other ones on. And so that is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do a little dance for a few days of changing needles every time I want to work on it. But this might be the only time you see this until closer to fall, which is September 20th. So the pattern will come out September 20th. You might see it once more before then, but I will just whip this up. It's cowls don't take me that long, like they're pretty quick. Sorry, somebody's older gentleman is having a very loud phone call outside, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear that, but yeah. So I got started on that, and I know what I'm gonna do, so it's just a matter of like doing the first pattern repeat, writing it up, and then I'm on my way. Okay, I've been making good progress here on things. This is my Palm Springs tank by Knit California. I have made a ton of progress. So I originally, I think last time, had to take out the straps because I met stitch gauge but not row gauge. So I've been following the pattern to the measurements, not to the row count. But these little straps, when I followed it to the measurement and not the row count, it was going to be like quite up high on my neck, and I don't like that. So we talked about it at knitting, and that I should do the row count for the straps, then go back to the measurements for everything else. So that was what I did. On Tuesday, I had gotten to finishing the increases on the front panel, and then I had a mess of yarn, so I untangled the yarn and then joined the front and back panels, added the stitches for the armholes, knit a few rounds, and then I wanted to do the neck and arm edging before finishing the body because I wanted to see if it was going to fit. So I put the body onto barber cords so that I could fit it comfortably. I could try it on comfortably and not worry about losing stitches. And then I did one armband and I tried it on. And the straps are quite thin and the armband is quite big and the neck is quite big until you put the edging on. So I did one armband, it was fine. I did the other armband, it was fine. Then I did the neck and it was fine. I did this all like Wednesday and Thursday. And then I tried it on. I think it's going to fit. It is supposed to have negative ease. So I'm a little worried about it around my chest, but I think once I block it, I'll be able to like stretch it out because it is supposed to fit like, it's kind of supposed to fit, I guess, like this, like a tank top. Like it is supposed to cling to your body. But anyway, I'm super pleased with how this has turned out. I've been alternating skeins throughout the body. I did not alternate skeins on the neck and arm edging because I knew it was so small, it wouldn't matter and there wouldn't be color pooling, and it's been fine. So that has been that. But this needle size, this needle size is what I need for my cowl. So I'm just gonna have to pop it on and off, these needles on and off, to do my cowl. But now I'm just round and round for 9.5 inches. And I think I'm just over, like almost at 2 inches maybe. But yeah, and I'm alternating skeins on the body. And yeah, the neck and arm edging, you pick up stitches and then you do a sewn bind off, and you just have to do it really loosely so it has stretch, but it's turned out really nice. And I like to do my neck and arm bands, or I like to do my neck band and the arms or sleeves after I split for sleeves or join and do a little bit of the body, because then I feel like you get a more accurate fit when you're trying it on to see what the length is going to be like. So yeah, just working away on that. I don't think there's anything else to say about it except I'm going round and round. Okay, I've been plugging away at this Fern's Echo by my friend Steph. Working on my crochet skills. It is going really well. I was concerned that because I did this in fingering, and she's like, you can really do this in whatever weight you want. You just have to have like a multiple of so many stitches plus so many. So I went for 70 because I'm doing it in fingering weight, and she did hers in DK. So the other night I thought, I don't know if this is going to be long enough. And I kind of took the length of my Wrapped in Love shawl, which is like 72 or 73 inches. So what I did was I weighed my skein of yarn what I have left of what I'm working on. And it was at 39 grams. So I was just over halfway. And then I measured this and it was like 18 or 19 inches. So then I multiplied that by 4 and I got something. I don't know. It was like 80 or 90 something. So I know that it's going to work out fine. Plus when I block it, I'll be able to stretch it lengthwise a bit. I don't need to stretch it widthwise. I think it's wide enough, but I'll be able to stretch it lengthwise a bit. So I'm not, because I thought, oh no, if it's not going to be long enough, I'm going to have to rip it all out. And I don't want to rip out on my progress because I've started this so many times. But then I was like, well, if I weigh the yarn and see what I have and then multiply, if I've got like about half, then I multiply it by 4. I multiply this length that I have now by 4, and I can get roughly the right size, or the size that it will be. So I'm just plugging away at this. I think this is what I'm going to take to church today, because my gratitude shawl that I'm looking at over in my other project bag, it's wool blown into a tube. It's kind of sticky in the heat. This is less sticky to work with. So yeah, that's that. And then I have started finally on my comfort crossbody. Just barely. I have been organizing all of my yarn and knitting stuff. I did that yesterday. I have one of those 3-tiered rolling carts. And so I organized all that yesterday, organized my knitting bag, my projects. So I've been putting all of my stuff into this Avonlea Knits canvas tote bag. You can find this on my website. I don't promote my like print on demand drop shipping stuff and merch very much right now, because I still have to figure some stuff out on that end, but you can buy stuff from there. So I have bought like a thinner book bag, which was smaller. It just has, I should have brought it, but it just has the logo on it without the purple background. But you can get both bags both ways. Actually, let me go grab it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So it doesn't have the big purple background. So you can get them both ways. You can get this bag like this and with this logo on it and vice versa. But my parents had bought 2 of these and my mom uses hers all the time. And she gave me this one, which it's massive. It fits so much stuff. I also added a little bag charm to it. I got a bunch of these heart carabiners on Amazon, and then I just used the leftovers from the rose shawl to make a little heart charm. But I am trying to organize all of the stuff for this Granny Square project. So last night I put on a movie and I pulled out the center pulls of all of these yarns. And I had to pull out a bit and then wrap it around the center. I don't know what happened with the purple. The purple was not coming out. And then it's in 2 balls because I was pulling from the outside and then I'm like, this is terrible. Let me hand roll it into a ball. So I did, and I got like 1 small ball, and then there was like then it ended, and then there was like a foot of yarn that was tangled up in there, and then I had the rest of the ball. So I organized that, and then I got started. So this is a clear plastic bag that a mattress cover came in, and it's perfect to hold all this stuff. I used it actually to hold and organize my squares for my everyday crossbody. So this is the pattern I'm working on, the comfort crossbody. HGDC Designs Crochet has this Granny Square guide, so I've been using that. It's full of links and videos. And then this is the project that I want to make. So I've been doing a lot of stuff. I found yesterday in my cleaning 2 clips, which means I only need to go buy today a zipper and 2 silver D-rings for the bag, which is great because bag hardware is expensive. I have a little Ziploc baggie with some dividers in it, which you'll see why in a minute, and the label from the purple yarn. And my crochet hook is in here. So I'm going to organize my granny squares in that bag. But Heather from HGDC, I've been watching her podcast and her videos, and she organizes her granny squares in a case like this. She has a cute purple one, but hers is from a storage store in England. And do you think I could find a cute purple one here? No. And they don't ship to Canada. So, dollar store, $3. You can have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 28, 30, 31, 36. You can have 36 little sections in here. I took out the dividers and made the columns stay the same, but I changed the rows. So I made the sections double the size, and I did not 12 smaller sections and then 4 bigger sections. So that's where all those extra dividers came from, this. So what Heather does is she makes her granny squares start, and this is slightly different from the granny squares that I made a couple weeks ago. The ones I made a couple weeks ago, you start with 4 corners. She starts with a circle. So then your row 2 is your corners. So I made this last night. This is my little swatch. I'm gonna take this with me when I go to Fabricland later to get a zipper. But I needed to make sure I made gauge. So what she does is she makes all of her centers, keeps them in here. She has a couple of these. Then she'll go and do row 2, and then she uses a continuous join as you go method. I don't know anything about that yet, but that will be then your round 3. So in this crochet pattern, she has used black as the 3rd round. So what I am going to do, I think, is I would like to use purple, the dark purple, as I like the classic look of the black, but for me, obviously, like, black isn't it. I want purple. So I'm going to use the purple as my joining color, which means I actually won't use it for any circles, but I like her method of organization of making circles, then being able to pull from your circles and do your 2nd round. So what I am going to do is, with the 5 colors that I have right now, make a bunch of circles, keep them in here. I'm going to order some other colors and then make more circles. And then I think what I'm going to do is, like, I will pull out a purple circle. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out, like, the dark purple circle, and I'll use light purple as my round 2. Then I'll pull out, like, because I have pink, blue, and orange. Then while I'm still working with my light purple, I'll pull out an orange circle. Do round 2 of light purple on the orange. Do a round 2 of light purple on a pink, on a blue, on the other colors. And then put them all in my bag, and then I'll be able to, like, sort them out. So I'm trying to make, like, all the combinations of all the colors I'll eventually have. So that's kind of where I'm starting. I am starting by making a bunch of circles, and then I'll make my 2nd rounds. I'm really waiting on this, like, butter yellow color to come in. So I can order a few more balls of different colors, and yeah, but I have made gauge and I'm starting to make some progress. And I have conquered 2 different types of granny squares so far. And yeah, I just think this is going to be a great project and can't wait to work on my crochet skills. I also have the 2nd pattern in her sub squad from when I joined, which was I joined so I could get this crossbody pattern. The next pattern that we got was frilly pouches. So I'll have to print off that pattern. I like to print from my phone to make a little booklet. But I'll have to print that because I think I'm going to make a frilly pouch just to, like, test my crochet skills. And I'm using Bonus DK, and it's acrylic. It's from England. It's actually quite great. It's a DK weight, and it's a really affordable, $6.99 Canadian. So yeah, that's all that I'm working on. And I have to go because church starts in 15 minutes. So that was great. And I will see you in 2 weeks.